and watch for any sort of a protest advance, which is happening right now. And he does not see that yet, because the advance isn't really happening yet. He's just going to knock out the Zealot really quickly with these Hellions. He's got quite a few Marauders chilling in base, so his position is getting better and better, and it does look like Mean Jeans is just going to sit at this choke here. He's not going to go for any sort of an early advance. It's not really early at this point. He's not going to go for any sort of an advance when he knows that Webby is significantly down. Webby, in the meantime, is still not pumping SCVs, still doesn't have orbital command, still doesn't have planetary fortresses either, now that the engineering bay is done. He is getting +1 melee for this one Rex Marauder. Not really sure how effective that is, considering he's got a very, very small amount of Marauders. What I'd really love to see for him right now is get those orbital commands up, get a whole bunch of SCVs. He is pumping them now. Out of his expo, but not out of his main. That SCV saturation is really poor. His opponent doesn't have the best saturation either, just because he lost a whole bunch, but his opponent does appear to be doing a little bit better. Webby is moving out with 4 Marauders. This is a very small force. Not really sure what he's trying to accomplish here. This Zealot is going to spot this and not do anything. So, what I'd like to see from Webby: orbital command, SCVs. I'd like to see him add on a bunch of barracks or a bunch of factories and start pumping either tanks or Marauders, just to kind of beef up that ground army. It does look like Webby's actually going to come down to this Gold Expo. He's either scouting or taking out these destructible rocks. We will see which momentarily, once he chooses to do something else. And just macroing. I mean, he's on 2 bases. We're going back for me talking about what I'd like to see Webby do. He's on 2 bases. He's not really utilizing that much. I mean, if we tab on over to the income, it looks like he's barely ahead of his 1 base opponent, just because his SCV saturation is so poor. And if he had mules, he would be very ahead, just because of that extra mining speed that the mules do bring. It does look like he's taking out these destructible rocks and not just scouting, so he is going to have the potential to expand there and potentially begin to mine more and more. And he is just going to build this command center at his natural, so it's a little bit more protected, and he can just lift it off, which is a good choice by him. All these Hellions and these Marauders are moving out. It looks like they're going to get into some sort of skirmish with the toss. I would be very uncomfortable engaging a Immortal Stalker heavy army with these Hellions right here. And it does look like he's actually just going to go straight for these structural rocks. Not going to be able to do any damage, so if there's a sentry and a Stalker, warding that off, and Hellions do practically no damage to rocks. He's going to play around with some Marauders for a little bit. Looks like Mean Jeans knows exactly what's going on. Mean Jeans is adding on his own second, and he's actually adding on the gas before he even gets the minerals. I don't see him having any gas problems right now. He's sitting at quite a bit, and he's not spending all of the gas. So he's not spending all the gas that he has, so I would be less worried about that. And it does look like Mean Jeans is just going to rush into this, and Webby's Hellions are actually doing an amazing job of soaking up damage for those Marauders. Those Marauders are going to be the real damage dealers, especially against these armored units, these Immortals and these Stalkers, whereas these Hellions just do practically no damage, 10 damage because of the upgrades, but still not that good. The line damage, though, is definitely going to help, and their ability to soak up damage for the Marauders, these real manly heroes, and it looks like he's just going to go straight for Mean Jeans pylon. Straight from Mean Jeans, robotics exploding. Mean Jeans is going to GG. Mean Jeans does not have the warp gates to deal with this, apparently. Or he doesn't feel that he has the warp gates to deal with this. So, this is the first game Webby won. Not bad, actually. He says he's only lost 3. And getting to this point is fun for everybody. So, if you're watching this, Mr. Webby, put more SCVs, get gas, get a bunch more production facilities. Hellions are really great, except they're not the best unit at engaging other people's armies, unless they're going like Zealots or Zerglings. They're amazing for harass, they're amazing for scouting, they're really fast, and they can soak up a bunch of damage, or even just do line damage in large quantities when you've got mech upgrades. But Hellions mixed with tanks, or Hellions mixed with Thors, or even Hellions mixed with Banshees would be much more effective at taking out land armies. You just have to... Or Hellion Marauder actually works, but Wonder Axe Marauder isn't really the hottest thing in the world. Anyway, build more SCVs, get orbital commands. Orbital commands pay for themselves in about 10 seconds. I'm sure you know all of this, because I'm sure you're responsible, and you've been reading all of the stuff on the internet while I was waiting around and not doing this cast. But on the off chance that you haven't been, you also want a wall, just because if he had been aggressive with that first zealot, you probably would have gotten taken out of the game. Which is bad. Getting taken out of the game is generally bad. Yeah, if you look at these Hellions just attacking with a simulator here, they're doing like no damage. Assimilators have a buttload of health, because Protoss are evil, and they need to have a buttload of health so the Protoss can steal everybody's assimilators in the game. Oh my god. But Hellions still do no damage. And if you look at the damage that the Marauders are doing, like this next right here, you've got 5 Marauders and a Nexus, and it's just dropping really fast. They drop even faster with Stim. Stim would have been nice. Stim and Concussive Shells are both upgrades that are definitely worth getting. And I wish I could tell you a really good Terran build order. I don't know exactly. I'm not the best Terran player in the world. I'm probably gold at best. High gold. But yeah, I might be able to fake a couple of games in Platinum. And for the life of me, I can't actually find any good Terran build orders online. So if anybody actually has any, please leave some in the comments. Yeah. If anybody has some Terran build orders, leave them in the comments. Webby, keep playing. You're a cool bro. To everybody else, I hope that was entertaining in some respect.